All right, check, 1, 2. Just making sure you can hear me and see me okay. So what we're going to be doing today, first of all, thank you so much for joining me for this workshop. What we're going to be doing today is talking about alternate picking, some tips and techniques to alternate picking, and then I'm also going to explain to you about some songs and a playlist that I've created for you to learn how to do some alternate picking and get a little bit better with that if you need to. So if you like this video, please do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, like and share the video, and please comment, especially some song ideas that you've got for alternate picking. I would love to see some ideas that you've got, and I might be able to add them to the playlist. Now again, I don't need a playlist of 7,000 songs for people, but if I could get a good playlist of, I just started creating these playlists on Spotify, if I didn't mention that, just with a bunch of variety of different things for people to play, not just super heavy and super fast, but just anything that has some alternate picking that various people would enjoy. So, and the other thing I want to mention is I've got a guitar course that talks about all sorts of different things like this, and most importantly, the development of being able to solo with your guitar. And the course, of course, is called Guitar Solos, and it's available at guitarzoom.com. So you can always go check that out if you're interested. So alternate picking, let's talk about this for just a minute. When you alternate pick, there's a number of different things that you have to think about, from the style and size of the pick that you're using, the thickness of the pick that you're using, and make sure it's something that really fits you comfortably. Now, I use these, they're called hawk picks, okay? And I use this kind of medium-sized hawk pick, and I use a 2.0 millimeter. It's a perfect size for me. For some people, it's a little bit thick. I'm sure for others, it's probably not thick enough, right? But that's what I use. And what I like about the little bit thicker pick, even though my hands are pretty small, is that I can choke up towards the front of the pick, which is what I want to be able to alternate pick at faster speeds. I don't want to hold the guitar pick, way back here or something like that. I want to try and choke up as much as I can and still, clearing the strings of my fingers as I pick. Now, the other thing, there's lots of different techniques about this, and there's lots of different wonderful players out there and teachers that teach a lot of different ways of picking this. But what I want you to think about are just a couple of different things if you're trying to get started in this and figure out how this works. Number one is that when you pick, what you need to do is start thinking about which angle you're picking at, okay? Some people turn to the pick downward like this, some people pick straight on, and some people even pick upward like this. Okay, and it's going to, determine which angle you're hitting that string from. The other thing to think about is how much you're turning the pick like this. Now, what I want you to notice is that the guitar is already turned a bit, right? I'm not playing with the guitar straight like this. I've got the guitar turned a bit. So when I go to play this thing, okay, I don't want to turn the pick like this, because then my attack, notice how my attack becomes very scrapey sounding. It doesn't sound really tight. So the more I turn, there's no doubt I can go faster, but you hear all this kind of scraping of the string. So if I straighten out more, you start hearing more of an attack of the string, more of a percussive sound. Okay? Another thing to think about when you're trying to do this is, where is your pivot point? Are you pivoting more from the elbow, right, which includes your forearm and your bicep? Are you pivoting more from your wrist, or are you pivoting more from your fingers? Now, for me, it's almost like I'm kind of, I've got water in my hand and I'm shaking the water off. That's almost kind of what I'm doing. It's not like I'm shaking a hand. It isn't this kind of motion, okay? It's more just a general motion of my wrist that's very comfortable, and it's not requiring a lot of effort, okay? Sometimes you'll see people pick with their fingers and they'll do this, and that's okay too. Again, depending on the speed that you're trying to go when you're alternate picking and the attack tone, right, determines where you're picking from. If I'm picking slower, I might get more of this kind of localized and mechanical kind of maneuvering, like I was shaking somebody's hand. And as I go faster, you'll notice the wrist stops moving so much, and then all of a sudden the fingers start moving a little bit, right? And again, it's different for everybody, and it depends on the speed. And like I said, the way that you're picking with your guitar pick is going to result in the tone or the attack sound, right? So as I play, again, I want to think about which angle my pick is at. And whether I'm pulling the pick inward or not. And how much I'm doing of that. So I always want to think about how it feels, and I want to think about how it sounds. And I need to understand that my approach is going to change depending on how fast my picking is going. But I really do want to try and focus on getting my down pick and my up pick to have a similar dynamic, a similar attack as I'm doing this. Now, what's really interesting about alternate picking is that sometimes you get this gray area in your speed or your tempo, right? You can go slower and you can go really fast, but sometimes there's this middle speed that kind of becomes difficult to be able to alternate pick at, okay? At least for me there is. So when I start talking about this playlist that I've created on Spotify, understand that some of these songs actually have that. Some are very fast, some are a little bit slower, some are a little bit more funky or groovier, okay? So for instance, the first one I have on the list is Thunder Kiss 65. Not a hard song to alternate pick, but it does require a bit of understanding of... So I'm going down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up. So my downs are always on the beat, and my ups are in between. Down, 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 up. And notice how I have down, 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 up, right? Down, 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 up. So if I thought about it like this, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up. Now the next down is the one I'm skipping. Down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up. And if I slow this down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up. I should probably tap my hand on each one of those. So as I do this, I'm going down, 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 down. But I want to skip down, 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 down. And then I'm going to add those ups. Down, 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 up, down, 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 up. That way, the pattern that I'm creating for myself is consistent. It keeps going throughout this whole thing. Down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up. It keeps starting all over with that same down. So I can create a pattern that can be repeated and it feels comfortable to me. Where if I go down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, or something like that, the whole thing becomes off kilter and it becomes harder to go faster. See? So that's kind of a funkier one. If I was doing... Okay, like Cowboys from Hell. If I was doing something like that, again, I'm using down-up picking. You might do the whole thing down, or you might have seen somebody do it, and that's fine. Again, we all have to figure out what's the best way of playing songs. Okay, what's the best way of approaching these? And actually, in the next workshop, we're going to be talking about that from a soloing perspective. But everything is different. Every song is different. So I'm trying to add a bunch of different songs into this playlist for you to explore. The next one I've got on the list is Skeletons of Society by Slayer, which is a slower one by them if you know a lot of their music. Let's see. But again, it's got a bit of this dun 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 kind of offbeat thing going on there. Next one I've got is Eye of the Beholder by Metallica. Right? That sort of thing. Just over and over and over trying to get used to that. Now, like I talked about in the last workshop, if you watch that one, I'm not expecting you to learn the entire song and all the solos and all the other parts. If you want to, great. The point of this is just to give you something else to practice with that doesn't require you just to sit and practice with a metronome. Don't get me wrong, a metronome is really important to develop various techniques. But what I figured out a long time ago is that if I could find songs that correlated with what I was trying to work on for a particular technique, I just found it more inspiring. So if I could find a song, let's say I'm capable of alternate picking at a particular tempo, 160. And that's what I'm trying to work on, right? If I can find some other songs out there that maybe are around that tempo, and use some element of alternate picking. Again, if they're doing a bunch of different stuff, then maybe it's not the right song. But if I can find a song that has at least sections where there's a large part where there's alternate picking, that might be a great one to practice, which is the point of the playlist. Okay? Let's say, here's a great one, Rapid Fire by Judas Priest. Let's see. It does that, but then there's this. So again, there's little sections in there where you do a lot of alternate picking. It's not way too fast. It's not way too slow. It's kind of in that middle area, that gray area, if you will. So it's a great song to work on for something like that. And there's all kinds of different songs in here that you can look at, okay? I've got Holy Wars and Whiplash and Battery and War Ensemble and Damage. But then I've also got stuff like Immigrant Song, with the, which is kind of funky, right? Or Eye of the Tiger, right? Which is kind of in that gray area too. Again, not a metal song, but a great song for learning how to do some alternate picking. So there's lots of different things, and I'll keep adding to this. And again, if you give me some ideas of some great songs that use alternate picking and not just absolute fastest ever, which is great, but if you got other ideas too, I can add them into the playlist for other people to learn from as well. So that would be really great to hear from you on. So anyway, let's stop there. I'll make sure that we have a link available sometime soon here with this Spotify playlist if you'd like to check it out. And as I said before, subscribe to the channel, like and share the video if you haven't already. If you have, thank you very much. And go check out guitar solos off guitarzoom.com and see if that might be a guitar course that benefits you, if it's something that you might be looking for. And then tomorrow, in the next workshop, we're going to be talking about using how we play songs and approach the solos for those cover songs. Maybe you're learning a Randy Rhoads song, or God knows what it is, right? And the solo comes up and you're like, well, I learned this part, but I'm not sure about this, and I don't know if that's right, or